There's a lot of product on the ground in China that was manufactured before the 145% tariff was introduced. Every conversation I have in business is about what's next. Business community wants certainty. 90 days of this reprieve, Tom, is not a long runway in our business.
So what are you seeing when I just envisioned you in your office in the port of Los Angeles, and you have this view of the Los Angeles harbor and the Pacific Ocean. You see all these ships coming over the horizon from China. Are the ships coming?
Not yet.
Not yet.
And I was on the phone last night with some friends in Singapore and Hong Kong, and bookings are picking up. Reservations for containers picking up. But here again, it's really quiet in Los Angeles today. By the end of this month, 17 of 80 scheduled ship arrivals will have been canceled, our volume down 25%. But even as this booking or reservation system has an uptick, it's going to take about 2 weeks for the liner shipping companies to reposition their vessels. And then once they load up the cargo that's on the ground, another 2 weeks to come to LA. Then we have to distribute throughout the country.
So we still have, even though I'm not even sure where we are right now, but I believe the tariffs have come down from their high levels vis-a-vis China, but they're still way higher than they were 5 months ago. So that has to impact just what Walmart's buying, what every retailers across the U.S. are buying, and what you're seeing at your port, right?
Right. The headlines from just a couple of minutes ago. Walmart's CFO says prices will likely rise towards the end of this month. Now, we have 125,000 companies that import through the Port of Los Angeles. They're not all the big guys. I'm most concerned about the small to medium-sized retailer. Your corner hardware store has to buy now at 30%, 40, 50%. And if they try to raise the price on the hammer or the tool kit that they're selling, they can't because they're competing with the big guys. This is a really tough position.
Can you explain how the tariffs work? So when a good comes off a ship in your port, how does a tariff get done?
Yeah, depending on the terms of sale and the nuances, et cetera, when an importing company wants to accept the goods, take them off the port property, they're given an invoice by Customs and Border Protection based on a harmonized code and what products are in that container. Before they can take possession of that box, they will have had to pay that tariff.
Okay. All right. So the importer pays the tariff. I guess that just happens, right? I mean, because it seems like it's so fluid. I'm not sure what the tariffs are if I'm an importer.
Right. And think about the customs agent who's got to assess what's in that container, the price of those goods, et cetera. And just to keep up with this is I'm in this business and it's hard to keep up with.
To your point in Cincinnati, what was your first day in Shanghai like? They send you abroad. You're the ugly American in Shanghai. You're looking for a cheap suit. What was it like your first day in Shanghai?
Tom, I was 34 years old and
You're on the Bund.
The Bund in Shanghai, beautiful, the lights up, the architecture, unbelievable. I had people like Frank Chen, William Chan, Philip Hsu, just holding my hand, guiding me through this. But what they said was, our hope is that you can learn a lot about what we do here and take that back to America. And for the guys and ladies on the ground here in the U.S., it was like, we have a contact over in Shanghai. Learn a little bit about how to move all this cargo, who's who, what we can do, what an opportunity.
Bring it forward now from the Bund down to Ho Chi Minh City, down to the booming Vietnam, that communist experiment right now. Identify for all of our listeners across this nation the China to Vietnam to U.S. trade moment.
Yeah, this is interesting, too, because I think many of us were surprised. Once that 145% tariff was put in, the American importer slammed on the brakes and said, I'm not buying, because I don't know if the information is going to change in 2 hours, 2 days, or 2 months. So what the liner shipping companies did was say, look, I've got to profile these vessels. I normally make a call in Shanghai or Xiamen and then come to LA. I'm going to make another call in Haiphong or Ho Chi Minh City. I'm going to try to get cargo from Lam Shabang and Sadaqib in Thailand, because if I don't profile this vessel, it's a cash loser, right? I've got to get 95% utilization on the ship, or else that voyage is cash flow negative. So you saw people just scrambling.
So right there, folks, is a window. It's no different than the truck from Dallas to Amarillo. You got to have a full truck or it doesn't work. Paul, get one more in here.
One more, Gene. So what are you seeing today? How do you kind of envision the next 1 month, 2 months, 3 months in terms of your port of Los Angeles?
I think you'll see a little bit of an uptick in cargo. Again, May is down precipitously with respect to volume. Folks are going to have to bring product in because we're at a critical point. Summer fashion, back to school, year-end holidays. We're going to have product on the shelf and online to buy. The question is going to be, what will be the consumer's willingness to pay? So the retailers are trying to do all this calculation right now, and I don't think anyone has the answers.
Do you think there'll be any empty shelves in the next several weeks, months?
I think you'll probably see lower levels of inventory and less selection with prices ticking up just a little bit.
Yeah.